receive one recommendation from each of the tables. We will look at them. Our rapporteur will be putting it on the slide right there so that some issues might be able to be collapsed together. Duplication we will take out. So may I ask the table that is finished? Maybe, would you like to go first? Okay, or... Either way.
Hello. Hi. Okay, our group we discussed the whole declaration, but we emphasized on item L, letter L. It's just an enhancement of the statement that we have here. And I think since we have a clear discussion on what has been presented a while ago about financing scheme on rich countries to the developing countries. Like this, in letter L, developing countries must be provided adequate support on financial and technical mechanism, although it's being emphasized here while ensuring improvement of livelihoods, capacity building, and technology transfer. But we have to ensure that it's as mentioned in the presentation a while ago, that it should be non-debt, and there's a compensating mechanism that there should be a clause in between on this item. So typical example, if those rich countries extract resources to poor countries, what are the compensation, or what are the mechanisms underlying those engagement?
Great. So that's from the region.
Yeah, that's for the region. And we have one additional item that we'd like to add in the declaration. It's more on institutionalizing documentation of gender-responsive best practices and lessons learned for sharing and replication. This is at the national and the local level, which is being supported by legislation, both by the municipal and then the provincial government.
Okay. Can you do...
Yeah. This has to be supported by executive order in order for the local to implement this into policy and supported by a legislation also.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Can you maybe go to the rapporteur and give those sentences to her, please? So we will put it up. Thank you.
Okay, from our group, we have here two recommendations. The first one is we urge the rich countries to set up immediately a mitigation and adaptation fund which can be availed of by developing countries like the ASEAN and also non-government organizations. The basis for this is that the rich countries, most of them are the ones which really have more greenhouse gas emissions, and they have more funds, and therefore it is very necessary for them that the developing countries like our region should be availing of funds coming from these countries. And this fund, we request that it should be managed by inter-governmental organization. Now, the second stand that we have is we urge the rich countries to have a clear stand on climate change mitigation based on historical responsibility principle.
Thank you. So I'll take that to the rapporteur. Next group, please.
Thanks. We actually had a really enlightening conversation. One thing we'd like to add to the preamble, because we don't think it's appropriate to put in the text, is a sentence calling upon all citizens of the world to join us in this effort instead of just pointing the finger at the government. So something I drafted really quickly, or we drafted, was recognizing the impact and contribution of all global citizens to the climate change agenda. We call upon all stakeholders, individuals, the private sector, government, civil society, academia, and religious institutions to join us in this effort to address climate change, or something to the effect, much more passionate, I'm sure we can come up with, I hope. And then there was, we wanted to include donor states in any capacity included in all of these very pointedly, as well as, what was the other thing? Oh, making sure it goes all the way from planning through evaluation. Any of the descriptions of the programs that happen have to go from planning all the way through the end, just so we're very consistent. Okay.
Great, thank
Thanks.
you. Can you give that to Trace, her? Yes, she needs to write it. Oh, you need to write. Okay, great. Next group, please. Any group that's ready?
Our recommendations are: one, integration of the climate change in the educational system, meaning integrate this issue or concerns in the curriculum, educational curriculum. Second is stronger statement or position for gender equality in climate change, in adaptation, as well as in mitigation. Then thirdly, adopt and invest on cleaner energy technology. Example is the renewable and more sustainable energy technology. And lastly, have a stronger position for the region in the negotiations on climate change based on sound consultation and, of course, well-researched.
Thank you. Next group, please. Ready? Not yet? Yeah? Do you think we can?
Recognizing the important role of local government unit in the implementation of gender-sensitive programs on disaster risk reduction. Inclusion of traditional knowledge, system, and practices of indigenous people in the promotion of information on climate change and disaster risk reduction.
Can you hold the mic closer, please? People can't hear you.